Welcome back. Now, today the world marks International Youth Day, and here in Namibia, the Namibia National Students Organization was commemorating it under the theme Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond. The day's program featured powerful keynote addresses, a thought-provoking debate centered on the theme, as well as a session on the NDP 6, highlighting the role of young people in shaping the country's future. Joining us to reflect on the day's discussions and share their thoughts are Penouua Kaoti, NANSO IOM branch chairperson, as well as Lydia Simon, National Youth Council coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Now, of course, I know, Peno, that you guys didn't commemorate the day in silos. It was actually with the Ministry of Education as well. Yes. But talk to us about what the biggest takeaways of, today's events were.
Thank you so much, Nina, for having us. So the day was quite an amazing day, quite a memorable day. I think my biggest takeaway from the day was the unveiling, not really the unveiling, but the presentation from the Executive Director in the Ministry of Finance on the National Youth Fund. That government has allocated up to more than 200 million Namibian dollars that will be aimed at funding and aiding entrepreneurial businesses for young people. So it's an opportunity where young people can apply for grants and or loans for them to start up businesses. So this was my biggest takeaway, because it then addresses the issue of unemployment among youth. It gives the youth an opportunity to create jobs for themselves and jobs for the other young people. So I can say that was indeed my biggest takeaway from the event. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Lydia, part of the theme, local youth actions. Talk to us about why it's important for youth action to start locally before aiming, for the global stage.
Okay, thank you. That's quite a very interesting question. In terms of youth taking place in the global stage, we need to also put into mind that we play a very important role in taking up youth changes. Now, all of that cannot be doing by skipping a stage, right? So we always have taking baby steps, and that is where the local youth activists come in. So this helps young people to basically build skills, get hands-on experience on what exactly it is they need to do in order to reach the higher steps. One thing we also need to keep in mind is that when we talk about global change, we look at the global challenges such as poverty, youth unemployment, as well as climate change. All of these are affecting us at a local stage. Now, them having to start locally also helps to address the root causes from home, basically. So all in all, we just need to take space and to know that local action is the grassroots towards global change. In order for global change to take place, you need to start from home, which is the local space.
Yeah. There was a debate that took place also centered around the theme, Penouua. Talk to us about what some of the highlights were there.
Unfortunately, due to time issues and time management, the debate could not take place.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, NANSO initially had the debate in plan, and it was under the theme of youth-led initiatives or youth-led projects. So the motions around the debate were centered around youth-led initiatives and whether youth-led initiatives are the answer to the problems that we are currently facing. It's a pity that it did not get to happen, but I think it would have been a very interesting debate to listen to. And I think definitely in the future, such debates will obviously take place, and we can actually get how youth-led initiatives or projects can then address the challenges that we as Namibian youth are facing.
Yeah. Lydia, this year for International Youth Day, the focus was on the Sustainable Development Goals. And I want to know, how we can make the SDGs more relatable to young people that find themselves, marginalized within the rural areas.
Okay. So when it comes to rural areas, one of the challenges that most of them face is a lack to access in terms of information. So in order to ensure that the SDG becomes more relatable, is to provide an outreach program. This will help to educate the people within the rural areas on how they can access the different programs that is being funded, how all of what the SDG is all about, and how they can also go hands-on into practice and different activities, what they can implement towards the rural area. Another thing is to focus on a space that looks at the challenges that the people from the rural areas are facing. Things such as limited, if we look at the marginalized community, there is limited education. So maybe focus on things such as educating them more about the SDG and what it is all about, and also finding more programs that speaks more to the people within the rural areas, such as how maybe business they can make a profitable business with traditional farming, for instance. Yes.
Penouua, you're currently serving as the chairperson of the IUM NANSO branch, but this is obviously not your first engagement in a leadership position as a young person. You've had quite a journey. But I want to know what youth leadership really looks like, you know, in Namibia right now.
Yes. I think since independence, youth leadership in this country has grown immensely. 35 years after independence, we have more youth represented in structures. We have establishments such as the National Youth Council. We have young people in Parliament. Our youngest member of Parliament is 22 years old. I think that is a big achievement. Namibian youth in positions or youth in politics, youth in leadership roles, it has grown immensely. And I think as a country, we need to be proud of ourselves. Young people need to be proud of themselves. They are making their voices heard. And it's important that we make our voices heard. Every day, every time, and every opportunity that we get, we should make sure that we make our voice heard. Because 70%, roughly 70% of the population is youth, 18 to 35. So it is very important that we are represented in those structures. And I can say that we have done exceptionally well as young people. We should also keep on fighting. We should keep on advocating for youth representation in various bodies in the country, such as private sectors, public sectors, political organizations, and so forth. So in my opinion, we have done quite well in terms of youth representation. Now we just need to push more, so we get it 50-50%. Yeah.
Lydia, do you agree with these sentiments?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think there's enough representation or fair representation of young people in leadership spaces?
Yes, there is fair representation. And also, if we look at it, I will also like to add that there is, when it comes to representation, there is room for young people to grow. So for us as a country, we provide a space for youth to grow within whatever career it is that they want. So I fully agree with whatever it is that he said.
Talk to us about how the NYC turns youth-driven ideas into actual policy influence, Lydia.
Okay, so the National Youth Council is quite a very structured-based organization. We have the National Youth Council Act, which basically outlines how we do it. We do have the General Assembly, like, okay, let me just start. With the National Youth Council, it is a state-owned public enterprise, which is under the NYC Act 2009. So basically, what we do is we have, unlike other state-owned enterprises, we elect our board members. So that also gives us a space to then bring policy influence. Another thing is that the council has a representative council, which consists of different affiliates that are affiliated to the council, as well as regional chairpersons who then influence the role in terms of decision making when it comes to the council. So we don't operate as a single person, we do it as a collective. We are then branched out into 121 constituencies nationwide. This is basically to ensure that programs are implemented, there is influence taking place, and then that young people are represented within each and every single constituency in the country. We then move up to the region, whereby we have regional youth forums that are also responsible to ensure that policy change and different programs are implemented within the regions. So
Fantastic.
yes, that's what we do.
Penouua, how do you ensure that the energy from, events such as today, International Youth Day, turns, or rather finds traction all year round and not just on the specific day?
Yeah, I think that's also a problem we have. We have events, we discuss, and then after that it just fades away. I think we young people need to use the structures that are available to us. NYC is a good example of that, since they push for policies and etc. We can use NYC to push to make sure that these discussions and these dialogues that we are having are actually implemented and they are being reached to the higher government officials. NANSO is also a great structure to push for certain actions to be taken by government officials. So we need to then establish also more structures where youth can go to and question as to, we said this and this and this. Can we please have a follow-up on how far we are in regards to that? So I think it's also then important for young people to be actively engaged. When and the minister or the deputy minister says, etc., you should always go and follow up. As a young person, you must be responsible and go and follow up. Go to their offices and ask, how far are we with this certain program? How far are we? Because I asked a certain question, you said so and so. So I would encourage young people to take up action for themselves, to go and ask and do follow-ups with their government officials.
Just out of curiosity, Penouua, which SDG do you think Namibia's youth could lead the continent in achieving, and why?
Yeah, personally, I believe in clean energy, climate change, climate action rather. So for me, it would be SDG number 7, which speaks to affordable and clean energy. As someone who's studying climate change, I fully understand the potential of clean energy and green hydrogen. Namibia is positioning itself as a hydrogen hub, Africa's hydrogen hub. So I think Namibian youth could look into that. Namibia is a very dry and hot country, and we are densely populated, meaning we are very empty. Solar panel businesses, youth can look into that and venture into that. Establish solar panel farms, etc., to boost and to reduce unemployment rate and to just boost Namibia's economic growth in general. That is how we can lead in the continent of Africa.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, just in one sentence, Lydia, what's your message to every young Namibian about stepping up for the SDGs and shaping the country's future?
Okay, firstly, I would like to wish all the Namibians a happy International Youth Day. And my message is that as young people, it is our role to ensure that we implement. When it comes to the SDG goals, it is quite beautifully outlined, but it will not be effective enough if as young people we don't play our role. So I would like to encourage all the young people out there to then be actively engaged in all the SDG goals and to ensure that not only is it going to be a document draft, but to ensure that implementation is then therefore done. Yeah, I think that's it.
And from yourself, Penouua?
I think young people should start taking opportunities that are handed to them very seriously. There's a youth fund available now. I think we should step into that. We should fully grasp it, and we should fully run with it. I think it's time for young people to take the forefront in leadership, in business, and so forth. So I would like to encourage my fellow young people not to give up. I think government is doing a wonderful job. We should tap into the opportunities that are available to us. If we want more, we should fight for more, and we should never give up the fight. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and happy International Youth Day to the both of you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, that was Penouua Kaoti and Lydia Simon